Are you wondering how to get selected for one of those in-house job postings you've been looking at? You'll start landing job interviews in no time after you follow the resume tips that I'm going to share with you in this video. The last one might surprise you. Welcome back. If you're new to this channel, I'm Annie Little. I'm a former lawyer and an ICF certified coach. I started this channel to help lawyers land, lead, and succeed in their ideal jobs. All right. On to the top 4 resume tips I've got for you when it comes to in-house counsel job postings. The first one, show, don't tell. I know we've probably heard this, so what am I talking about here? I'm talking about giving the employer a real picture of what it is that you can do. Don't tell them that you've done it. Show them what happened that brought about that result. One way to get yourself headed in the right direction is to eliminate anything on your resume that starts with responsible for. I don't mean to attack you. We've all had it on our resume. So just make a note. Not going to put it on there anymore. And what I have found as the absolute best way to show rather than tell employers what it is that you can do for them is by using the SOAR method. And SOAR stands for situation, obstacle, action, and result. And now it doesn't necessarily have to be written in that order, but what is absolutely vital to using that method is that you're getting the result out. That is the number one mistake that I see on any resume, but it's so extremely important when you're applying for an in-house counsel role. Why is the result so important? It's that result element that makes it so much easier for an employer to see you in the role and to imagine what it is that you could do for them because you've given them examples of how you've done it in the past. All right, number 2, it's really important that you speak their language. While culture fit is an important factor in any sort of job search, it's particularly important when we're looking at non-law firm employers, companies, organizations. They tend to have a much more cohesive culture and mission and core values than most law firms do. So how do you learn to speak their language? You do some due diligence. Go to their website. That's one of the easiest ways to do it. You can also look at their social media content if they have any, but you're going to be looking for things like their mission statement, values. See what types of words and phrases they use. Like, do they have a particular vernacular? If so, you may want to find ways to include that in your resume if it's applicable, relevant, doesn't seem like too much of a stretch. Another way to get a feel for the culture of a company is to go onto LinkedIn and search for people who currently work there and even people who used to work there. And you can reach out to them or you can just observe their posts and see how they talk about things and what it is that they think is important and what they're talking about in general. All right, number 3, keep it simple. I find it's not so hard for lawyers to keep their resume simple when they're applying to a traditional legal job, like in a law firm. But when it comes to in-house counsel jobs, for whatever reason, a lot of my clients think that they need to have a flashier resume. That is not necessarily the case. Yes, you may want to use a different formatting than the very conservative law firm template, but the focus still needs to be on your words and your experience, colors, charts, tables, all that kind of stuff. If anything, it can be distracting, especially if you're not used to using those sorts of modalities on your resume. But as you might have noticed, I said that in some cases it might make sense to do something a little different with your format. This could be something like where you imagine you're applying to like a graphic design company and maybe you've done some due diligence and learned that, something about design is really important to them. So maybe you enlist someone to help you design like a tasteful, simple, but something that stands out and matches like the values and sort of the culture of this graphic design organization that you're wanting to join. All right, and number 4, this is the one that a lot of people don't like to hear. Ditch the templates. Here's the deal. There's no magical template. Okay, so if you're looking for a template just to give yourself a starting point, honestly, any template will do. There is nothing special about some template that I can give you or anyone else can give you that's going to give you some magical advantage in the job search process. So like I mentioned before, if you're applying to a design firm, a regular resume might underwhelm them. If you're applying to Google, I've heard absolutely don't send a cover letter. Maybe you're applying to a job posting that uses humor throughout. You could see that as an opportunity to inject your own humor into your resume. The other thing with templates is that sometimes they can make us feel like we have to force ourselves or our experience into this tightly constrained box. And then when we're doing that, we're losing focus on what's really important, which is the value you bring and the experience that's going to help you to do that. Like I said, templates can just be a really simple starting point so that you're not staring at a blank page. And remember, you're a lawyer after all. You know how to put together a compelling argument. You can trust yourself to make the case for why you're the best candidate for any particular job. But if you feel like you could use a little extra guidance on how to put your best foot forward, you can check out my free masterclass, 3 Simple Strategies for Uncovering Any Lawyer's Transferable Skills. It's linked in the description below. When you master these strategies, you will be well on your way to landing interviews for in-house counsel roles.